Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to engage in a subject that transcends societal norms and expectations. A subject that challenges our intellect, our perceptions, and even our emotional capacity to understand. We are here to talk about the concept of wisdom and foolishness, specifically as it pertains to women in this modern age. It's important to recognize that the traits of wisdom and foolishness are not defined by gender, but we have to acknowledge that society has placed certain labels on individuals, particularly women. In this world where the battle for equal opportunities and respect is an ongoing fight, we must dissect what makes a woman wise or foolish. As we explore this subject, I challenge each of you to reflect on your own life, your decisions, and your relationships. I invite you to delve deep into understanding not only the world around you, but also your own personal growth. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It's about discernment, understanding, and making choices that not only serve you, but those around you. It's about recognizing your value and carrying yourself with grace and strength. In this speech, I will touch on 7 key signs that can help us assess if a woman is operating from a place of wisdom or if she is misguided, falling prey to the ways of foolishness. We will explore these signs not to judge, but to encourage introspection. Remember, wisdom comes from learning, reflecting, and improving. Foolishness is a state of being that we can rise above, but first, we must identify it. So let's proceed with these insights that will shed light on the true nature of wisdom. She fails to recognize her own worth. One of the most glaring signs of foolishness is when a woman fails to recognize her own value. She may constantly look to external validation, seeking approval and affirmation from others rather than looking inward to see the greatness she already possesses. This lack of self-awareness often manifests in low self-esteem, poor decision-making, and an inability to set boundaries. It's critical for a woman to understand her worth before she can make wise choices in life. This failure to acknowledge one's value can lead to a cycle of unhealthy relationships, both personally and professionally. When a woman doesn't know her worth, she may tolerate mistreatment, engage in toxic relationships, or undervalue her contributions. It's not about arrogance or narcissism, but rather about understanding that you are deserving of respect, love, and success. A woman who recognizes her worth can create healthier relationships, set clearer boundaries, and build a more fulfilling life. We live in a society that often conditions women to seek validation externally, whether through their appearance, their role as a caregiver, or their professional achievements. This constant need for approval can cause a woman to lose sight of her intrinsic value. A wise woman knows that her worth is not determined by others' opinions, but by her ability to stand firm in who she is and what she offers the world. The wise woman has confidence in her abilities, and even if she faces challenges or failures, she doesn't allow them to define her worth. She sees every experience, whether good or bad, as an opportunity for growth. She understands that her worth is inherent and cannot be taken away by external circumstances. A woman who is wise knows that she is valuable, and it is from this foundation of self-worth that she can make sound decisions. True wisdom lies in knowing that you are worthy of happiness, success, and fulfillment. When you recognize your worth, you empower yourself to walk boldly through life. undeterred by the judgments of others. It is a state of mind and being that allows a woman to step into her full potential and create the life she desires. A foolish woman, on the other hand, continues to chase external validation, never fully realizing her power. Self-worth is a constant journey, one that requires introspection and self-love. A wise woman constantly nurtures her sense of self, striving for growth but never compromising on her value. When a woman fails to recognize her worth, she stunts her growth, and the consequences can be detrimental in every area of her life. She consistently chooses toxic relationships. Another sign of foolishness is when a woman repeatedly chooses toxic relationships. This can be in the form of romantic partners, friends, or even family members. The wise woman understands that relationships should be built on mutual respect, love, and trust. When these foundations are missing, it's a clear indication that something is wrong. A woman who continuously stays in harmful relationships, whether emotional, physical, or mental, is not making wise choices. She may rationalize her decision to stay, believing that things will change or that she is somehow responsible for fixing the other person. This kind of thinking is rooted in the misconception that love means tolerating mistreatment or sacrificing one's own happiness for the sake of another. Wisdom dictates that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and in toxic relationships, it is the woman who suffers. The foolish woman fails to recognize the patterns of toxicity in her relationships. She ignores red flags, compromises her values, and settles for less than she deserves. A wise woman, however, has the discernment to see when a relationship is unhealthy, and she has the courage to walk away from it, even if it's difficult. She understands that letting go is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Choosing toxic relationships stems from a lack of self-love and self-respect. A woman who is wise knows that she deserves to be loved in a healthy and supportive way. She won't settle for a relationship that drains her or makes her feel less than. She knows that the right relationships will nurture her soul, empower her, and bring out the best in her. The foolish woman, however, may become attached to the idea of love rather than the reality of a loving relationship. The wise woman also understands the importance of boundaries. She knows when to say no, when to walk away, and when to protect her energy. She doesn't allow anyone to diminish her sense of self or take advantage of her kindness. Toxic relationships are energy draining, and the wise woman understands that her time and energy are precious. She chooses relationships that uplift her and contribute positively to her life. Being in a toxic relationship is often a sign of unresolved emotional wounds or a lack of self-awareness. A wise woman takes the time to heal, grow, and develop emotional intelligence, which allows her to recognize unhealthy patterns before they take root. She is not afraid to leave behind people or situations that no longer serve her well-being. She prioritizes pleasing others over her own well-being. A foolish woman often places the needs and desires of others above her own, to the point of self-sacrifice. While it's important to care for those around you, wisdom dictates that you must first care for yourself. A wise woman knows that her own well-being should be her top priority, because only then can she fully serve others in a healthy and sustainable way. When a woman continuously puts others' needs before her own, she risks burnout and emotional exhaustion. She may feel unappreciated or resentful, yet she continues to sacrifice her own happiness and health in an attempt to please everyone else. The wise woman recognizes that self-care is not selfish, but essential for her ability to live a fulfilled life and positively impact the lives of others. This pattern of people-pleasing often stems from the desire to be liked or accepted. The foolish woman may seek approval from others at the cost of her own identity, beliefs, and happiness. She may feel obligated to say yes to every request, attend every event, or accommodate every person, even when it compromises her own well-being. The wise woman, however, understands that her health, physical, emotional, and mental, is non-negotiable. She knows when to say no, when to rest, and when to put herself first. By doing so, she ensures that she can show up as her best self for others. This is the essence of self-respect and self-love, two qualities that a foolish woman often overlooks in her quest to please others. In relationships, a wise woman sets boundaries that protect her well-being. She does not allow others to drain her energy or impose unrealistic expectations. She values her own time, space, and peace of mind. By prioritizing her own health and happiness, she is better equipped to give love, care, and support to those she cherishes. People-pleasing behavior is rooted in insecurity and a fear of rejection. A wise woman recognizes this pattern and actively works to break free from it. She seeks balance, understanding that she can only help others if she helps herself first. It is in this balance that true wisdom is found. She refuses to learn from her mistakes. A key characteristic of a foolish woman is the inability to learn from her mistakes. She may make the same errors repeatedly, ignoring the lessons that each failure provides. This resistance to growth and change stems from a lack of self-awareness or an unwillingness to take responsibility for her actions. A wise woman, however, understands that mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities for growth. When a woman refuses to learn from her mistakes, she remains stuck in the same patterns, unable to evolve or move forward. This kind of behavior can lead to frustration, disappointment, and missed opportunities. The wise woman embraces her mistakes, analyzes them, and takes the necessary steps to ensure that she doesn't repeat them. Learning from mistakes requires humility, self-reflection, and a willingness to be honest with oneself. A foolish woman may blame others or external circumstances for her failures, while the wise woman takes ownership of her actions and their consequences. She understands that growth comes from being accountable for her decisions, both good and bad. The wise woman sees mistakes as a natural part of the learning process. She is not afraid to make errors, but she is committed to using them as stepping stones to improvement. Her focus is on progress, not perfection. She is willing to adapt, change, and evolve in order to become the best version of herself. A woman who refuses to learn from her mistakes often lacks self-discipline and emotional intelligence. She may make impulsive decisions or act without considering the long-term consequences. The wise woman, on the other hand, takes the time to evaluate her actions and consider how they align with her values and goals. This level of self-awareness is crucial for making wise choices in life. In the journey of wisdom, mistakes are inevitable. However, it is the ability to learn from them that sets wise women apart from those who are foolish. The wise woman knows that growth is a continual process, and each mistake is simply a lesson on the path to greater understanding and self-mastery. She is easily influenced by others' opinions. A foolish woman is easily swayed by the opinions of others, whether it's her friends, family, or the opinions she sees on social media. She tends to make decisions based on what others think rather than on her own judgment and convictions. This type of behavior shows a lack of internal guidance and a reliance on external factors to shape her life. A wise woman, on the other hand, is guided by her own principles and values. She listens to advice, but ultimately the decision is hers to make. She understands that others' opinions are based on their own experiences and perspectives, and while she respects that, she does not allow it to dictate her choices. Wisdom lies in the ability to trust your own judgment while remaining open to learning from others. The foolish woman often seeks external validation, and in doing so, she loses her sense of identity. She may feel conflicted, uncertain, or insecure, constantly looking to others for approval or direction. The wise woman, however, has cultivated a strong sense of self and understands that her inner voice is the most important one to listen to. Being influenced by others' opinions often leads to indecision, confusion, and a lack of clarity. The wise woman remains focused on her own goals and purpose, knowing that the path to success is uniquely hers to walk. She does not need the validation of others to feel confident in her decisions. She trusts herself and her ability to navigate through life. While it is natural to seek advice and feedback from those we trust, the wise woman knows when to filter out noise and stay true to herself. She understands that every person's journey is different, and she is committed to her own personal growth. She does not allow the judgments or expectations of others to derail her from her path. In a world full of opinions and advice, the wise woman stands firm in her own beliefs. She listens, learns, but ultimately decides for herself. This is the hallmark of wisdom, the ability to trust your own voice amidst the cacophony of external influences. She avoids taking responsibility for her actions. Another sign of foolishness is the refusal to take responsibility for one's actions. A foolish woman might constantly blame others for the circumstances in her life or for the negative outcomes of her decisions. Instead of reflecting on her behavior and making changes, she deflects accountability and often plays the victim. This mindset only perpetuates her state of foolishness and keeps her trapped in a cycle of excuses. The wise woman, on the other hand, fully understands that she is the architect of her own destiny. She knows that every choice she makes has consequences, whether positive or negative. She does not shy away from responsibility, but embraces it as part of her personal growth. Taking responsibility is a powerful act that allows her to learn, improve, and ultimately evolve. When a woman avoids taking responsibility for her actions, she forfeits the opportunity to learn from her mistakes and correct course. The foolish woman is quick to point fingers and blame others, but this only serves to keep her stuck in her current circumstances. By refusing to acknowledge her role in a situation, she limits her potential for growth and change. The wise woman, however, has the courage to look inward and ask herself tough questions. She reflects on her choices and actions, identifying what she could have done differently. She understands that true growth comes from within, and by taking responsibility for her decisions, she gains the power to create positive change in her life. Responsibility is a hallmark of wisdom because it empowers individuals to learn, adapt, and overcome challenges. When a woman avoids taking responsibility, it's often a sign of emotional immaturity or lack of self-awareness. She may be afraid to confront uncomfortable truths about herself. The wise woman, however, is not afraid to look in the mirror and acknowledge her shortcomings. She understands that growth requires self-reflection and the willingness to face both her strengths and weaknesses with honesty and humility. In every area of life, the wise woman takes ownership of her actions and their outcomes. She knows that by doing so, she gains control over her destiny. Instead of blaming others, she looks for ways to improve, adjust, and make better decisions in the future. The refusal to take responsibility is one of the most detrimental traits of foolishness, while taking ownership is the path to wisdom. She resists personal growth and development. Foolishness is often characterized by a resistance to personal growth. A woman who is unwilling to change or evolve is bound to stay stuck in her current state, never reaching her full potential. Personal growth requires effort, time, and an open mind, but a foolish woman may reject new ideas, resist self-improvement, and refuse to break free from the limitations she has imposed on herself. The wise woman understands that personal development is an ongoing journey. She is always seeking ways to improve herself, whether that means learning new skills, gaining new knowledge, or improving her emotional intelligence. She is not content with staying stagnant, but is constantly looking for opportunities to grow and expand her understanding of the world and herself. This mindset is a critical aspect of wisdom. Resisting personal growth is often a sign of fear or insecurity. The foolish woman may feel threatened by change, worried that it will disrupt her comfort zone or challenge her beliefs. The wise woman, however, views change as an opportunity, not a threat. She knows that growth requires stepping outside of her comfort zone and embracing new experiences, even if they are difficult or unfamiliar. The journey of personal growth is not always easy, but the wise woman embraces it with courage and determination. She reads books, attends seminars, seeks out mentors, and strives to improve herself in all aspects of her life. She knows that in order to achieve her goals and fulfill her purpose, she must continually evolve and learn. The foolish woman, on the other hand, may remain stagnant, rejecting change and dismissing opportunities for growth. Personal growth requires a willingness to challenge oneself, to step into the unknown, and to confront one's own limitations. A woman who resists growth is likely to remain stuck in negative patterns, unable to break free from the constraints she has created for herself. The wise woman, however, is always looking for ways to expand her horizons and evolve into a better version of herself. A wise woman never stops growing. She sees herself as a lifelong learner, always striving to improve and enhance her knowledge, skills, and emotional well-being. She understands that the key to living a fulfilling life is not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them head-on, using them as stepping stones to greater wisdom and self-empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, wisdom and foolishness are not labels placed upon us by others. They are choices we make every day through our actions, thoughts, and decisions. The 7 signs we have explored today offer a window into the traits that separate the wise from the foolish. However, it's important to remember that no one is immune to making mistakes or having moments of foolishness. The key lies in the ability to recognize these moments and learn from them. Wisdom is a journey, not a destination. As we reflect on these signs, let us not focus on the flaws of others, but rather on our own personal growth and development. The wise woman is one who understands her worth, makes choices that support her well-being, learns from her mistakes, and embraces change. She is a woman who knows that her potential is limitless and that the path to wisdom requires continuous self-awareness and reflection. Let us strive to be women of wisdom. Let us take responsibility for our choices, invest in our personal growth, and honor the value within ourselves. And as we do so, let us empower those around us to do the same. Remember, wisdom is not about perfection. It is about learning, evolving, and becoming the best version of ourselves. As you leave here today, I urge you to consider the wisdom that resides within you and embrace the journey of growth and self-discovery. The world needs wise women, women who know their worth, who make choices from a place of discernment, and who rise above the challenges of life with grace and strength.